Now, let us honestly practice this radiation of loving kindness silently for a while. Although we are far from each other, thanks to these sort of programs, we are so close. We can see each other. Although some of you don't appear, doesn't matter. You hear the voice and we are together. And let us honestly practice pervading the entire world, including ourselves, with loving kindness, universal love. This is a love for loving kindness in action. We can extend this action further in society. This is compassion in action, sharing. We can extend this sharing of compassion in action in society, in our capacity, in whichever field we are involved in. We can also appreciate the good qualities, healthy qualities, wholesome qualities, whenever we come across them in our life, in others. So we develop appreciative joy, mudita. We also develop mental balance, equanimity. So this way we start the program with these reflections of wholesome qualities. When we reflect on them, let us really experience these qualities within us. So with this sense, you may feel happy. Express yourself for your own cultivation of good qualities. Honestly, you can feel, may I be well and happy for yourself in many respects, in many ways. May I be well and happy. The same feeling you extend towards others. All those who appear here, may all of you be well and happy. Honestly, you may extend your loving kindness, sense of love towards all, each and everybody here. The same way we extend the sense of loving kindness to the entire universe in our capacity. Beings are numerous. We may pervade the entire world in the form of directions or in the form of beings. Beings are visible or invisible. Beings which are small, middle or large, short or long, all kinds of beings are there in the world. We open up our capacity, we open our heart without having any blockage to radiate our loving kindness. So may all beings in their capacity benefit from this sense of loving kindness. We all are at home now. We can ask ourselves, do we really feel that we are at home? Although we are at home, do we have a moment to be at home with our body, with our mind? When we take a breath, breathing in, we can experience that we are at home with our body. When you breathe out, you may experience that you are at home with your body. as well as mind. Let us continue with this practice. You may feel the breath at different places of your body. Some of you may feel the breath at the nostrils or in the throat, on the chest, on the abdomen, even inside the body. What matters is how you experience the breath. Just focus on the touching sensation, that particular sensory impingement, how we come in contact with our breath. It is through our body, not only through our nose, through the entire body. We feel the breath that we breathe in and that we breathe out. Let us allow the body to breathe in as it wants, without forcing it to breathe. Letting the body breathe in, we are mindful of this process of breathing in. Letting the body breathe out, we are mindful of the process of breathing out. Sometimes the body needs a long breath. Let the body take it. Observe that it is a long breath that the body wants. When it is a short breath, let the body take the short breath. Breathing in short, breathing out short. Sometimes breathing in long, breathing out long. When we pay attention to the whole process of breath, we can notice how we are in contact with the breath with regard to the body. If we are really mindful of this process of breathing in and breathing out, we may notice that the body calms down. Breathing process calms down. So it's not only breathing. We have a way of mindfulness, way of being conscious, way of experiencing long or short breaths, way of recognizing, way of experiencing calming nature. Experiencing calming or stillness of the body. We breathe in and breathe out, still letting the breath pass through the nostrils in and letting the breath pass through the nostrils out. It's natural that the mind can go to other subjects, other objects. All this is changing. So our duty is to be mindful, just to observe, allowing things to continue. When calmness is there, joy can arise because we may like stillness. We might like the relaxed experience of the body. Therefore, it is natural that the mind will enjoy that. So it's being mindful of joy. We can breathe in and breathe out. As soon as we recognize that there is a glimpse of joy in mind because of this way of practice, way of relaxation, immediately it will become happiness, ease of well-being. So experiencing happiness of our mind and our body, we breathe in and breathe out. Breathing process is our path. We come back to it. Whenever mind goes to other subjects, it will come back to breath. Just like a friend coming home, let the mind come back to your own breath, to your own breathing process. Experiencing calming nature, joy, happiness, and more experiences. We don't hold on to anything. Even joy, when it arises, we don't hold on to it. Let it be happiness. We don't hold on to it. We only breathe in and breathe out, experiencing happiness. Again, it might calm down. All these process of thoughts can calm down. Experiencing calming of the thought processes. Even joy and happiness can calm down. Experiencing all this, we breathe in and breathe out mindfully. This will help us to recognize our mind in our capacity. We recognize that mind calms down. We recognize that mind has joy, and even we get glad in the mind. We can make the mind happy purposely because we are practicing some healthy qualities for the body and mind. This way, we pave the way, we help the way to concentration. Let the mind concentrate with these wholesome qualities. It is the collectedness which is called concentration. Collectedness of wholesome qualities in us. Experiencing this collectedness in mind, we breathe in and breathe out mindfully. Whenever mind goes away, please recognize that it has gone away. And then you may get it back to your breathing process, just like welcoming a friend coming home. Breathe in mindfully, breathe out mindfully, concentrating, collecting all these wholesome kusala qualities together in your mind. So I'll be silent for a while now. When we finish, I will ring a bell so that we stop this session of meditation after about half an hour. Now, when you hear a sound of the bell, it is another form that we notice, we recognize. The sound form. When we experience the touch of the breath, we recognize the sensory impingement, the touch, how our body is in contact with our breath. That is the touch. Sound is one form which our ear consciousness can recognize. The body can recognize, body consciousness can recognize the breath, the touch of the breath. So we have all kinds of forms that we recognize. It's not only breathing now. When we breathe in and breathe out, we may notice there's a process of recognition as well. We recognize, we know, we discern the breathing process. That is not breathing alone, it's a recognition. Immediately we need to notice that. We are mindful of recognizing. Then we have the way of appreciating our recognition. We appreciate. We know that we breathe in, and that knowing is important. When we hear the sound of the bell or somebody coughing, you have a form of sound. You recognize the sound. All this change. Visible objects is another form. Sound, another form. Taste, another form that tongue consciousness recognizes. The nose has a duty to recognize smell. Smell is the recognition done by the nose consciousness. It's not the breath. Breath is in contact with our body. So the body recognizes, body consciousness recognizes breathing process. All these are subject to changing. Our duty is to observe non-judgmentally. When we observe, we notice these changing patterns continue. As soon as we recognize breathing as a way of touch on the body, we may notice little sensation is there. Maybe on your chest, maybe on your abdomen, maybe somewhere else that you feel the breath. Inside the throat, in the nostrils. Then we recognize not only the touch, but the sensation, feeling. And feeling doesn't have that much life. It will change into perception. It will be immediately perception, knowing. And perception is not permanent either. It will develop into volition or recognition in that sense. Volition, that is a way of remembering, way of putting it into the mind, the memory, all that involves. So in the simple process of experiencing the touching sensation, we may come across the form as it is, recognition of the touch as a form, and the touch as a feeling, touch as a perception, touch as a remembering and a way of putting it in our mind, as a record even. And then we also see that we are conscious of it. Our body consciousness is alert there. So there are 5 aggregates involved in it. But 5 aggregates are not permanent. They are so dynamic, changing. You find similes in the text saying that our way of recognizing form is not permanent. It is like foam, the soap form or the form that you think of, FOAM form. And that is not permanent. Feeling, it develops into feeling, and feeling is recognized as a bubble of water which blasts so quickly. So feeling comes, and feeling will develop into a kind of knowledge, perception. It's also compared with the mirage. We are always misled by that mirage, with that knowledge. And it will develop into a kind of construction in the mind, or memory, or volition. And that is compared with a banana trunk or an onion, you can compare it. You can peel out, and there is no essence inside. So this is the way that we remember things, and we have a memory. We have volition, we have constructions. So we are conscious of all this, and that consciousness again is a kind of a illusion, maya. So these 5 ingredients, or the 5 components, we recognize as the entire body, as the entire process, while breathing in and breathing out. Sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly. So this recognition is not only just one thing. Sabbakaya Patisamvedi, experiencing the entire body, experiencing the entire breathing means experiencing the entire body, experiencing the entire feeling as a body, form as a body, perception as a body, volition as a body. Volition, that is remembering, and the memory part. Consciousness as a body. So when we recognize all these, we have a lot to do in a sitting process. While breathing in and breathing out, Sabbakaya Parisamvedi doesn't limit itself to only breath. Breath is the subject. Breath is the path along which we walk. And whenever we recognize this way, immediately appreciation follows. When appreciation follows, immediately we experience calming. That calming is not breath. Calming is an experience that we recognize in the mind. Experiencing calming, we breathe in. Experiencing calming, we breathe out. Calming is an important experience. Immediately it gives rise to joy, natural, piti. Calming is, in the Pali language, is pasambayang. As soon as we experience pasambayang, that is pasaddi, that is tranquility, relaxation, it gives rise to joy, which is piti. Piti turns out to be happiness. All these are impermanent, changing processes, but we need to benefit from this changing process in the practice. While breathing in and breathing out, we experience joy and happiness. So we enjoy breathing in, we enjoy breathing out. We happily breathe in, happily breathe out. Happiness and joy develop in our mind as thought processes, giving even sensations, giving more than sensations like perception, volition, or remembering, and we are conscious. Mind is conscious of all this. So whenever feeling occurs, it develops into even perception, volition, and even we are conscious of them. Whenever we recognize this process, please remember, we calm down. Whenever we recognize anything wisely, paying full attention to it, it's natural that we calm down. So that is why again you find Chitta Sankhara becomes Chitta Pasambhayam Chitta Sankhara. Pasambhayam means calming down, stillness. Not only the body that experiences stillness, even the thoughts of joy and happiness. Joy and happiness are the thought processes there. Whenever you recognize them, you experience calming of them, calming nature related to joy and happiness. Then again, it helps us to recognize the mind. Again, joy arises. Otherwise, we need to gladden the mind purposely, because it is important for us to enjoy all this. We need to gladden the mind. It doesn't mean that we enjoy for us to hold on to them. Joy and happiness, they are pleasant feelings, but we don't hold on to them. When we hold on to them, suffering arises. Whenever you hold on to anything, it's a way of owning. Ownership comes. Whenever ownership comes, that is where tanha comes, craving comes. Then this is mine comes. Whenever this is mine, you develop an identity, I. That attachment, that bondage can occur to our mind continuously, anytime, at any experience. But when we are aware, when we recognize them, again we retreat to ourselves. We go back to ourselves. And then we calm down. And we notice that calming nature arises. Then again we gladden the mind. because we have recognized something important there. We gladden the mind, and that gladdening the mind, abhipamodayam chittam. Abhipamodayam is purposely we gladden our mind. And that helps the mind to develop more and more collectedness. Collectedness is what I call samadhi. It's not what I call actually. It is what the Buddha called. Samadhi is collectedness. Kusala chitte kaggata samadhi. Kusala chitta means wholesome qualities, healthy qualities. Loving kindness is a healthy quality. Joy is a healthy quality if you don't hold on to it. Happiness is a healthy quality. All these at the end, calming nature, concentration itself, and how you gladden your mind, how you relax yourself, all these are qualities. Your recognition, first of all, knowing nature, all these will be good qualities. So collectedness of all these qualities is what is called samadhi. Samadhi is collectedness of wholesome qualities. So when we have that collectedness, still we can experience that collectedness, that mental composure. And experiencing that, we breathe in mindfully and we breathe out mindfully. And that concentration level can go deeper. That is why we find in the text words like vimochayam chittam. The mind can be free to go deeper and deeper into any level of concentration, but still without hanging on to anything. Letting be, letting go. We continue. Without having any fear, without having any doubt, we let the mind be free to go deeper and deeper into any concentration level. And then we need to also practice. All these are of changing nature. Let things change. And we will have to be in harmony with these changing patterns. Whenever we are in harmony with changing patterns, we follow a process of aloofness, detachment. That is what is called viraga. Viraga. Viraga nisitam. That is to be with the sense of detachment, aloofness. We don't hold on to anything. Let things change. So we develop our confidence there. We have self-reliance there. And that process will help us to accept changing patterns even to cessation. Concentration can end. Happiness can end, just like anything else. So when we accept that, we develop self-reliance. We develop confidence. Then we are ready to let go and let be. Letting go doesn't mean only letting go, but it has a meaning of letting come, letting be. And that is what we call patinisagganupassi in the Pali language. Patinisagga is a word for even nibbana. Patinas nisaggo mutti analayo. You may have heard about it. That particular relief at the end, even that is called patinisagga. But we don't need to wait until we come to the final cessation. We need to accept how we are, letting us be, letting things be, letting things change, being in harmony with changing patterns. That attitude, when we hear sounds in meditation even, we let the sounds be there. And that is again the way of practicing patinisagga, without holding on to anything. There's another Pali word, vassagga parinami, being mature in letting be. It's important to mature, to develop, cultivate this attitude. Altogether, there is an attitudinal transformation, attitudinal change continuously. Loving kindness is there in this attitude. The whole path of meditation is what is called cultivation. Meditation, I should mention this, is a wrong translation. Meditation is a wrong translation of this wholesome process because it doesn't include only concentration. It includes all these wholesome qualities. Even loving kindness is there. Whole path, starting from the samadhi, that is right understanding. That is what we did when we recognize breath, knowing. And when we recognize any ups and downs in life, any vicissitudes in life, that is what we call samadhi, recognition. When you are with kusala qualities more and more, is samadhi. Kusala means wholesome qualities. When we are away from akusala aspects, it's samadhi again, but it is very much related to right effort. So samadhi, right understanding, together with right effort to make the wholesome qualities with us more and more. And at the same time, mindfulness. Mindfulness, together with right understanding and right effort, cover the entire path. All the Eightfold Path have these three qualities as leading factors. Right understanding, right effort, and right mindfulness. Right effort is not to make the body muscles, but to make the mind muscles. To make the mind muscles based on wholesome ethical practices, moral qualities, to increase the wholesome side, to decrease the unwholesome. That is the effort. So when we have those qualities, together with these three leading factors, we are practicing right thought, that is loving kindness, compassion, all these attitudinal qualities are there in it. Loving kindness in action, mindfulness and loving kindness, compassion, all this should be in action. So that is right attitude. And the same thing continues with right speech. Those three factors leading right speech. Right action again. And then you find right livelihood altogether. Our occupation, our whatever occupation that we have, whatever employment, whatever work or duty that we do at home or outside, all this livelihood should be led by right understanding, right effort, and right mindfulness. So when we are at home, I would say even cooking rice is meditation. Why? Because we don't cook rice for ourselves. We cook rice for anybody who is in the family or outside, any friend. Nowadays we are at home alone. Of course, we cook rice for ourselves. But cooking rice for ourselves is also loving kindness. Because we not only cook rice, but we clean the premises mindfully. We develop certain way of attentiveness. We develop a way of cleaning. We develop a way of togetherness and how our body needs healthy food. All these are concepts. So this way we develop even loving kindness in the kitchen. So this is meditation. So meditation is not limited to only concentration, only mindfulness. It's a process of cultivation altogether. That is why the term bhavana is used. Bhavana means cultivation. In the first discourse, that is what is called Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. That is the setting of the wheel of Dhamma in motion. That wheel of Dhamma is what we talked about now. The wheel of Dhamma includes the entire Noble Eightfold Path. And that entire Noble Eightfold Path we practice in the form of sitting or walking or lying or being at work or being in the kitchen or wherever. So this is the way we can recognize that cultivation altogether, holistic approach altogether, wholesome cultivation altogether is what is called meditation. It should be called Buddhist meditation or bhavana. Then we can recognize what is lacking from meditation for us to include into it. So this way, we reflect on these qualities today, and I would like to wind up my talk now here so that we can have a question time as well. So being at home because of this pandemic time, I think we all are sitting in front of us, in front of each other. At a meditation hall, we sit, behind persons sometimes, only facing one teacher or so. But today, it is natural and it is good that we face everybody. So I am very happy that you allocated little time for joining this program. This is much more important than we simply think. So may you all benefit from this sitting, this being at home with the practice, breathing in and breathing out whenever you find yourself at home with your body and mind, very healthy. So may you be well and happy. May all beings be well and happy. So let us have a little open time now for questions, if you like. Because we have about 15 more minutes to wind up. We may have a few questions if you like to have questions.
Thank you so much for this, and Vihara here. And we are joining in from Adelaide. Yes.
Are you from Adelaide? Yeah.
Yes, and we are really enjoying. My kids are also here. We would like to know a little more about the meaning of samadhi.
Yeah. Samadhi. Samadhi is actually, as interpreted concentration, is very much lacking of the holistic meaning of the word samadhi. Samadhi means collectedness. In the Chattarisaka, Mahachattarisaka Sutta of the Majjhima Nikaya, you find a very good explanation for this. Samadhi is the collectedness of the first 7 qualities of the Noble Eightfold Path. What are the first noble qualities, first 7 qualities? Sammaditthi, that is right understanding, then right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, and right mindfulness. There are 7 here. And all these 7 qualities are considered to be requisites of samadhi. So there are requisites, parikkara, they are called samadhi parikkara. So samadhi parikkara means 7 requisites are there to build up samadhi. So samadhi is not just sitting with the closed eyes and concentrating on one-pointedness. It is not only that. Even that is included, but it's not enough. Concentration means, in that case, concentration of wholesome qualities, collectedness of wholesome qualities. Mental composure is more suitable for it. So I think that is a good starting point for investigating into samadhi further. I will make the answer short here because there are limited times. So samadhi is much more. We may have a whole talk on samadhi if we start actually. So I just, with that example, I'm happy with that sort of answer from me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, it became clear. Thank you.
Welcome.
have a question.
Yes, please.
Well, many questions maybe.
Yes.
I wonder if you can share the chanting that we did at the beginning. And I wonder if, even though we don't speak the language, if still chanting it at the beginning of a session, at the beginning of a practice, can have an effect on us, even though I don't speak the language itself. I wonder if the chanting will help maybe get into a state that cultivates and fosters those wholesome skills that you talked about.
Yes, I understand.
That's one question.
Yeah. May I answer that question first? Yeah, okay. Chanting actually is a way of reflection of good qualities. So whenever you reflect on any good qualities you remember, that will prepare your sitting much better. If you cannot remember the chanting, doesn't matter. If you can remember and if you listen to the chanting, then you may need another step, that is to know the meaning of the chanting. Then it will even accelerate your way of practice. But still, your practice will not become lacking if you miss chanting.
Okay.
Chanting is always helpful. You can benefit from even your happy moments. If your happy moments are there based on merits, wholesome qualities, if you can collect some meritorious deeds that you have done, good qualities through which you help somebody or through which you help yourself even, and that you participated in a session like this even, is meritorious. And if you can recollect all these qualities, and before you start, if you reflect on them, just relax, breathing in with that happy feeling of remembering. The same effect will be there as you have chanted. But chanting, of course, has more deeper meanings. Chanting itself is a collected meditation, or dhyana, sadhyana. Sadhyana has that collectedness. Sadhyana means reciting together. That reciting together is a way of group meditation. So if you go to a group meditation like this, or at a certain center, then you have the same effect. You have that sitting together with others, so that you are encouraged into the wholesome practice. So this way, chanting has a good effect, at the same time collectedness. This collectedness is actually what is called Sangha. Sangha is community. When we take refuge in the Sangha, in a meaningful way, we need to feel for each other. It's based on compassion. Taking refuge in the Buddha means taking refuge in the way of proper understanding, deep understanding. Buddha is the root of Buddha. Buddha is the root. Buddha is to understand. So that is to discern, to understand, recognize. Your recognition of your own breath, that is related to the word Buddha. Buddha is a past participle grammatically. Like do, did, done, you say done. The person who is awakened, somebody enlightened, is called Buddha. So when you take refuge in the Buddha, you are involved in sharing your knowledge in a certain way. And when you take refuge in the Dhamma, based on this proper understanding, then again, that is why we summarize great wisdom and great compassion into Buddha as a person, and then into Dhamma as the teaching, and then into Sangha, the immense scope, the quality, the community. So the community feeling is there. So compassion is the base of it. So this way, if you reflect on these qualities like Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, or chanting, or that we are together with others, that itself will give you a kind of a stimulation, which is necessary. Thank you. Well, I think our time is running out. So we can just say that we practice loving kindness to sum up. Shall we just continue with the sitting by reflecting on these good qualities that we have already accumulated? So you may really experience the collectedness of the good qualities that you have already experienced. That is what is called samadhi in a sense. So breathe in properly, breathe out properly, letting the body breathe in and letting the body breathe out, radiating loving kindness for yourself and for the whole world. May all beings be well and happy. And having that sense, let us breathe in for a while, breathe out for a while, mindfully, honestly, wishing ourselves peace and happiness, wishing the whole world in their capacity be well and happy. If anybody is ill during this time, we could also radiate loving kindness towards them, whoever they are. May they be free from all calamities, all illnesses and suffering. Let us spend about 2 minutes with this sense of loving kindness, honestly feeling the sense of loving kindness radiating towards all practitioners and all in the whole world in our capacity.